recovery is the worst. It's so good when you get to the end and the doctor tells you, that's it, just keep doing your exercise, but you don't need to come back again. But hell, it's a long journey. I don't remember exactly where the Phoenix ID came. I mean, coming out of the fire, definitively. I don't know who was the first one to bring the ID, if it was me or my wife or friends. I remember having a friend coming home when I came back from Bahrain, a very famous tennis player, and it didn't follow the fact that the Phoenix was kind of my new nickname. And straight away he called me the Phoenix. He said, hey, the Phoenix. And I was like, hey, do you know that's my new nickname? He said, I've got no idea, but it's so cool. The Phoenix is not the accident. The Phoenix is not the fire. The Phoenix is how you raise back from something tough. That's why I really like the Phoenix. It's not so much for the fire itself, it's for the rise after that. Burns are very naughty because you got burned and the pain is not quite there because all the nerves were burned. So I didn't really have that much pain initially, and then the days are going by and you think you're gonna start recover, and actually it gets worse and worse and worse every day, just because the nerves are getting back, the connection with the nerves is getting back, and the pain is increasing. And then I've seen things that I would never ever like to see. There was always a date that I wanted to go back to racing. That was end of February. I was going back in IndyCar. That's all I wanted to do, and I couldn't use my finger. They just wouldn't move as I wanted to. My daughter, she was 3.5 at the time, she would come all the time and she would help me and put cream on it, and she would draw every day since the accident. She's been drawing something for me for my recovery, which has been so cute. I was working 3 times more than I was supposed to on my recovery because I knew that's the date I wanted to go back to racing. I wanted to be able to cut on my kids. I wanted to be able to do knots on my daughter's hair, to be just able to use my hands. But for me, having a clear target of when it was going to be was very important. It was just a motivation, and like you would run a marathon or whatsoever, you look at the kilometers board, and you tick on, and for me it was the same thing. There was that finish line, and I just had to get to it. Funny enough, the first time I went back in a car was an Indy car, so I had to learn the car, but everything felt natural. I went on track, and I knew there was willpower coming on the faster lap behind me. I was just covering the car, so I let him by, and I was just trying to follow him to learn about IndyCar, and didn't think about my hand at all until I came back in the pit. I removed my gloves and there was blood everywhere, so it was like, okay, needs few adjustment in here. Going back to racing was quite emotional. It was Barber, April 2021, and I was qualified 7th for my first race. I was pretty happy with that. I sat on the grid on the pit lane before we started the engine, and I kind of started crying because that's the first time that I looked behind and I knew that 3 months earlier or so I was in that fire, could have died. I knew how much pain and suffer I went through for the whole recovery, and I was there actually doing what I wanted to do. The last question for me was, I can physically use my hands, I can hold the steering wheel, I could qualified 7 well. Can I still race? Can I still go wheel to wheel with other cars without being scared? And that was a big question. That question was answered within 200 meters of the race start, where I was just out there and I was pissed at myself because I didn't do a good job on my first rolling start. I lost the position, and the only thing that mattered was trying to get it back. So I thought, you know what, we're good to go racing. I was lucky not to have any nightmares. I had a couple of flashbacks from it. There were a few times where you kind of redo the accident and you redo it, and every time I redo it, I'm like, I should be dead. There's no way I should be out of that car. That frightens me a little bit, so I'm trying not to go there. I'm trying, if that starts to happen, I use the real exit. I use the fact that I walked out of the fire and that I'm alive. So it is in my left hand. There's a big scarf here that's gonna be here forever, so I can't forget about it. But natural comes back quickly. So sometimes when I start being hungry about something that's meaningless, I'm like, hey, just can't chill down, because you shouldn't be here. So don't complain and just take your time and You know, if it's a traffic jam, it's a traffic jam. There's not much I can do about it, and I think that's turning that terrible experience into positive, into making it just better life generally has been very humbling.